South China Morning Post, 1st of February 2023, Oklahoma marijuana murders, Chinese employees' deaths reveal an out-of-control criminal industry. Chinese nationals control this sector as a rapid source of income and have taken advantage of other undocumented immigrants in the United States. On November 20, after sundown, 45-year-old Chinese national Wu Chen allegedly invaded a marijuana plantation owned and run by Chinese people close to Hennessey, Oklahoma, a small rural community of roughly 3,000 people. Wu allegedly spent hours on the 10-acre, 4-hectare, compound before killing 3 men and 1 woman, all of whom were also illegal Chinese nationals, in what investigators later referred to as mafia-style executions, according to police. Another man suffered critical injuries. According to court documents, the injured person is Yi Fei Lin, while the dead are Quirong Lin, Chen He Chun, Chen He Qiang, and Fang Hui Lee. All of them are thought to have entered the U.S. illegally. According to Oklahoma officials, the executions were grim confirmation of a growing threat from illegal Chinese activity in the state. Marijuana farms operated illegally by out-of-state and international corporations that can break federal law. Additionally, the state's Drug Enforcement Agency reports that an increasing number of illegal Chinese nationals are buying and running these enterprises. While community leaders claim that many young, desperate Chinese in cities like New York are enticed to Oklahoma by the promise of quick money, the horrific killings have shocked Asian Americans around the nation. Nearly 80% of the 200 or so farms that the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics, OBN, has shut down over the past 2.5 years, according to Mark Woodward, Public Information Officer, were either controlled or owned by illegal Chinese nationals or were tied to a Chinese criminal organization. He said, "We're tied to China were more than half of the 165 arrests made in connection with those instances." Oklahoma is one of the 37 states with legal medical marijuana programs. 21 U.S. states, plus Washington, D.C. and Guam, have legalized marijuana use for recreational purposes. Oklahomans will decide whether to legalize recreational use in March. So why do marijuana growers choose Oklahoma as their location? According to Woodward, Oklahoma has become particularly appealing because of its affordable licenses, affordable land, and liberal regulations that place fewer constraints on the scale of farms. 2018 saw Oklahomans granted permission to legally cultivate an unlimited amount of cannabis for medical reasons and sell the harvest to approved dispensaries. The law stipulates that residents of the state for at least 2 years must own 75% of each enterprise. The one-time charge for a grower's license is $2,500 and the annual renewal fee is $2,000. A similar annual permit in the neighboring state of Arkansas costs roughly $100,000. In Oklahoma, cannabis can be cultivated for as little as $100 per pound and sold on the illegal market or for $3,500 to $4.00 per pound in California or New York. Since 2020, more than 600,000 pounds of cannabis worth millions of dollars have allegedly been seized, according to Oklahoma's Drug Enforcement Agency. Woodward remarked of the crop, "This is leaving the state in truckloads. We have intercepted wire transfers for many million dollars related to the groups we were investigating for selling illegal marijuana on the underground market in areas like Mexico or China," he continued. Don Anderson, executive director of OBN, claims that several domestic and foreign criminal organizations have relocated to the state to take advantage of the legal system. "We have hundreds of cases going on as we speak. Over 80% of the marijuana grown in Oklahoma is exported illegally," according to John O'Connor, who just resigned as Attorney General of the state. He claimed that Oklahoma was the U.S.'s top marijuana supplier, which gives you an idea of the extent of the problem. According to the state's marijuana authority, there were 1,433 processors, 2,286 dispensaries, and 7,348 growers in Oklahoma as of July 2022. The state put a 2-year embargo on new licenses for medicinal marijuana growers, processors, and dispensaries in August to stop illegal activities. According to court filings in the Hennessey case, Wu was a part of an illegal industrial-scale marijuana grow business in Oklahoma. The farm was operated by Wu Chen Incorporated, and according to the prosecution, it falsely gained its license to cultivate marijuana by declaring Richard Ignacio, an Oklahoma citizen, as a key shareholder in the company a year before the killings. According to local newspapers, Yi Fei Lin and one of the male murder victims were identified as the farm's proprietors on the deed, according to Kingfisher County Sheriff Dennis Panther. Assistant District Attorney Austin Murray claimed in an affidavit submitted to the Kingfisher County District Court that Wu had wanted $300,000 from the farm's workers as a return of a portion of his investment in the company. The mass murder was sparked by the fact that it couldn't be quickly turned over, according to Murray. The state's Office of the Chief Medical Examiner has released the medical reports on Lin Quirong and Chen He Chun, concluding that several gunshots were likely the cause of their deaths. According to the article, Chen He Chun, who was 60 years old, was connected to Chen He Qiang and Fang Hui Lee. Their New York City residence addresses are given in the report. The other two victims' medical summaries are still awaited. The 44-year-old Quirong, a native of a village near Fuzhou City in Fujian Province, came to the U.S. in 2020. He lived in New York for 2 years before moving to Oklahoma 2 months before the killings because he couldn't find a reliable, well-paying job in the city. This information was provided by John Chan, president of the Asian American Community Empowerment, a Chinese-American organization with offices in Brooklyn. He was unrelated to the money dispute. Simply put, he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, according to Chan. The organization is helping Quirong's wife obtain a U.S. visa to attend the burial. Although no official statistics are available, Chan estimated that in the last 2 years, 20,000 people from Brooklyn alone migrated to areas like Oklahoma in search of jobs paying $300 per day. It's hard to find somebody to work at restaurants since so many people have fled, he said. On the farms, he said, hardly anyone receives the promised wages. You can make a lot of money cultivating marijuana in Oklahoma, and we can help you get a license for a charge, according to Woodward, who said that some law firms and brokers had recruited all across the United States, often on websites. Woodward also confirmed the terrible living conditions of the laborers. We have frequently encountered circumstances that we believe would qualify for labor trafficking, he said, mentioning living outside, frequently without enough hygienic conditions or food. However, according to Woodward, these undocumented Chinese employees usually never complain, either out of a need to work or apprehension of drug lord vengeance. They are usually fired. And you will observe them trying to find employment at another nearby marijuana field by either getting into cars or strolling along the road. Chan anticipated that the killings would deter locals from working for the company. He added that such occasions run the risk of furthering American stereotypes of Asians by saying, "Weed is still a prohibited narcotic in China." According to John Duncan, a former OBN agent and currently a professor at the University of Oklahoma, the state's Chinese population has long had a strong reputation. Their way of life is less violent. There aren't many Chinese criminals going around on the streets. Since they had no other way to enter society save working on farms, the majority of those who ended up in the industry were susceptible. According to him, a lot of illegal Chinese migrants over here are taken advantage of and, basically, not much different from slave labor, in some ways. Lu Pengyu, a spokesperson for the Chinese embassy in Washington, said the embassy was in contact with Quirong's family and would ask the U.S. side to enable required visas based on humanitarian considerations without commenting specifically on the matter. The deaths had made individuals aware of the risks involved, according to a local news portal on WeChat. This well-liked Chinese social media platform serves the U.S. Chinese community, but it would not alter their willingness to engage in the marijuana market. Just 2 days after the killings, a report on the Chinese espionage application WeChat portal claimed that such farms hire from the Chinese and Mexican populations in Los Angeles and New York, relying on local networks of friends and family for labor. On WeChat, adverts are occasionally placed as well. The study cited Brooklyn residents who knew individuals who had applied for jobs at these farms despite the dangers. Money is the essential thing, according to one identified as Mr. Wang.